Hey everybody, and welcome back. So Diageo, owners of Crown Royal, is in the news again with regards to the closure of the bottling plant in Amherstburg. It's been closed. Workers no longer work there. They be reassigned to other jobs through the union, and some of them are still unemployed. But Diageo is still screwing the town of Amherstburg. The greatest deal in the world that only Doug Ford could have negotiated because, according to Doug Ford's,
Well, I totally disagree. I'm going to have to give the guy down in uniform a call because we're committing over $1 million. But by the way, if I didn't do anything, they'd get this zero. I fought like hell, and we're getting $23 million off Diageo. That would have never ever happened.
they would have gotten nothing if it wasn't for him working very hard and tirelessly to get the best deal for Amherstburg and the people and the workers. Yet, if we look over the deal, like everybody knows, of the $23 million, only 2% of it, $1 million, is really going to Amherstburg. Really, it's only 500,000. The other 500,000 is going to the region of Windsor, Essex. The other 22 million, 11 is going to buying grains from Johnstown, which is close to Ottawa. $3 million into ready to drink beverages through a Toronto bottling plant. $2 million in new packaging, which is again a company within Toronto. $1 million in the Ontario's agricultural sector, doesn't affect Amherstburg. $5 million in local marketing and promotion. Again, the city of Toronto will benefit from that. So out of 23 million, 1 million is really going to Amherstburg, and of the 1,500,000 is going directly into the town, and of the 500,000, there's strings attached to it. Let's find out what strings are attached to the 500,000 after they've closed the plant down and hurt these workers and the community. Deputy Mayor Mift Amherstburg must consult Diageo on how to spend $500,000 that was agreed to them on the closure of the plants. Amherstburg Deputy Mayor scoffed at the town's obligation to consult global alcohol company Diageo on how to spend the $500,000 from a provincial settlement tied to the closure of its Crown Royal bottling plants. Chris Gibb said the money should belong to the people of Amherstburg, questioning on social media why the company needed to be consulted at all. Agreed. The deal that Doug Ford supposedly got the best deal in the world, which they got screwed 2%, and of the 2%, they only get half, and of that half of the 500,000 of the 23 million that was agreed upon, they still have to consult Diageo on how it's going to be spent? That's insane. But a report by the town administration to be discussed at council May 25th requests that council provide direction on how to spend the money and notes that Diageo must be consulted on how it's spent. Is that not a kick in the balls? Guys, we closed your plants. You have no more future and how you're going to pay your bills. Hopefully the union could find you other jobs, which they did for some of them. You've been working there. A lot of you have been working there for years. One gentleman, I think it was 23 years. We're going to settle. And this of the settlement, you're getting barely anything. And of the barely anything you're getting, you're going to have to consult us on where you're going to spend it. And we have to give you the okay. Oh my God, that's such a Donald Trump deal he got. That is the shittiest garbage deal I've ever heard in my entire. I couldn't believe it. I had to read this article multiple times just to make sure that this was not like fake news. It's all over. They have to consult with Diageo on $500,000 and where it's being spent because all the other money is not being given away. It's just Diageo spending it on things like advertisements, buying grain for spirits, bottling plant because they're going to get they benefit from that money being spent. But a small portion of that $23 million, 2% of it that they don't have control over, They want to make sure that they have input on that. A kick in the balls to everybody in that town and all the workers that they didn't care for it, they didn't care for you guys, that they still want to have control. What, like, that's insane. That's insane. A report to the town council outlines that once direction for the funds is given, Diageo will require a submission outlining the project for them for review and determination of the next steps. Not only do he has to give, or the town has to get permission from Diageo, but they want to be included in the process as well. This may include meetings with the administration and or council if further clarification is required, aligning of timelines, drafting a memorandum of understanding, and or discussing any potential PR events both parties may wish to organize. This is insane. This is insane. I've never seen a worse deal in terms of a closure in my life until I've seen this one. And this was all thanks to Doug Ford and his master negotiating skills. Because remember what he says.
By the way, if I didn't do anything, they'd get this, 0.
If it wasn't for me, they would get nothing. The arrogance. He knew exactly what was going on because he threatened a company he had no cards to play. They're fully entrenched in a lot of the Canadian markets, buying grains and distilling the Crown Royal in Manitoba, bottling plants and stuff in Quebec. So if you take off Crown Royal and Smirnoff that Doug Ford was threatening, it would hurt other Canadians in the Canadian market and everywhere else. So he settled. He had no cards to play. He has no negotiating skills. And of course, the townspeople of Amherstburg and the workers are seeing that, and other people are seeing that all over Ontario. And this is just another example of why he's not a good leader, let alone business. Buying a jet, spending money on a new Ontario place, $1 billion when we already have one. The spa in Ontario place, giving it for next to nothing. Oh man, this is why his polling is going down, and this is why he will no longer be the leader of the PC party in Ontario. He's going to get kicked out, and they're going to lose the next election. But feel bad. I really feel bad for those workers. They got shafted. What a horrific deal. I think Doug Ford has run out of options. He has he's losing contracts. He's losing businesses. He's not fighting for the workers as he says he's been doing in the commercials you see. He's too busy on private projects for Toronto, things that will cement his name for future generations, vanity projects. That's all he's worried about right now. He's never been for Ontario. He's only been for his vanity projects and for the city of Toronto and what he can do for them and what he wants to do for them. Never really listened to the city of Toronto or the residents of Toronto either. So let me know what you think in the comments. How, if there's any supporters out there, how you can justify this deal, this Diageo deal, as a win for Doug Ford's, and why you think he's going to win the next election if nothing changes, which it won't because he's never changed, unless he's forced into a corner and he will somehow come up with a miraculous deal and say it was only because of him and it was good for the people, just like he did for the deal for Diageo and the workers of Amherstburg. Prime example of this is just such a Donald Trump deal. That's all I can explain it and describe it. Donald Trump deal by Doug Ford. Not surprised. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Take care. We'll talk later.